Okay, factoring. So last year we looked at distribution. Now we're going to reverse that process. So we're removing a greatest common factor. Let's take something like 12x plus 8. And what's that equal to? Well, I want to figure out what the greatest common factor is. And off to the right, as you can see, I've thought it was 4 because 4 goes into both 12 and 8. So the GCF is 4. GCF equals 4. Go back to grade 8 and learn about greatest common factor in GCF. So the greatest common factor is 4. We're going to start going down the page. Well, if you haven't already in exponents, but whatever. Down the page. So we're going to take out a 4. So 4 open bracket. Now, we want to think either divide both those things by 4, as you can see in the notes, or just think 4 times what is 12? 3, and we did an x. And 4 times what is 8? Positive 2. Circle your answer. Now, whenever you do a mathematical process, you always want to check your answer somehow. So you could pick an arbitrary value for x and put it into the question of the answer, as we've been doing so far. But let's learn a different way, the reverse process. So now let's take the answer off to the right, 4 open bracket, 3x plus 2, in the notes way off to the right. And let's distribute. Let's multiply the 4 in. So 4 times 3x is 12x. And 4 times 2 is 8. Because that's the same as the answer, we know our answer is right. Check mark. Doing the reverse process. So much better allowing you to do math. Because half the time you're just thinking about the reverse process to do the actual process. Okay, some more examples. 2x squared plus 3x. So they both have an x, so I can take out an x. X times what is 2x squared directly above? 2x. X times 3, what's directly above? Positive 3, close bracket, circle your answer, removing a greatest common factor of x. 12x squared plus 8x. Remove a greatest common factor of 4x. 4x open bracket. 4 times what? Notice, I do the numbers. Actually, the signs, then the numbers, then the letters. But no signs, so numbers. 4 times what is 12? 3. I haven't even thought about the variables yet. X times what is x squared? X. 4 times what is positive 8? Positive 2. Circle your answer. Pick value for x, put it into the question. Pick value for x, put it in the answer, make sure they're the same. Or do the process that we just talked about above. Do the reverse process. So let's talk about the example we just did. X times 2x squared, times 2x is 2x squared, the thing above, we're good. X times 3 is 3x, the thing above, we're good. The example off to the right. 4x times 3x is 12x squared. 4x times 2 is 8x, the thing directly above, check mark. I forgot to check my answer. Check my answer, check your answer on every single question you do. Not sometimes, not all the time. I'm old, and I still forget. So, obviously, I'm the biggest nerd in the whole wide world. Okay. Negative 2, open bracket, x plus 8. So, what's the greatest common factor? Oh, gosh, excuse me. No brackets. No brackets. I'll give you a moment to erase those brackets. So, negative 2 plus 8. Well, the greatest common factor is 2, but we want to take out the negative. So, we're going to take out negative 2. What are we left with? Negative 2 times the thing above, negative 2x, is just x. Now, negative 2 times what is positive 8? Well, we need a negative times a negative. Notice I did the signs first. I haven't even thought about the numbers of the letters yet. Now, 2 times what is 8? 4. Circle your answer. Check your answer. You know how. Okay. Negative x minus 2. That middle negative is terrible. Negative x minus 2. Let's take it a negative 1. Negative 1 open. Negative 1 times what is negative x? X. Negative 1 times what is negative 2? Positive 2. GCF, off the right. 2 minus x, brackets around it. Take out a negative. Negative open bracket. Negative times what is 2? Negative 2. Negative times what is negative x? Positive x. Then rearrange the order of the terms inside the brackets. The x is positive, so it stays positive. The 2 is negative, so it stays negative. Check your answer. Check mark. Forgot to check my last one. They're right, I hope. Okay, so moving right along, we have AB plus CB. Now, who here likes poetry? I do. They both have a B, so take out a B, and we're left with A plus C. Check your answer by distributing, and we are correct. Okay, once again, they both had a B, so we took out a B. Okay, X plus 2, plus 4, X plus 2. One more time, poetry on the last one. They both had a B, so we took out a B. Now, they both have a X plus 2, so we took out an X plus 2. What are we left with? Well, poetry, back to the last one. They both had a B, so we took out a B, and we were left with whatever's left, A plus C. So if we take out an X plus 2 from both of them, we're just left with what we're left with. X plus 4. Circle your answer. That is what we call partial factoring. Partial factoring, kind of. It's halfway through decomposition. I actually don't know what it's called. No, yeah, it's partial. Maybe. So now let's get into what's called decomposition absolutely for sure. 2x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 6. Now, as you can see in the notes, I've rewritten that exactly down below. I put brackets around the first two things, brackets around the second two things, and a vertical bar in between them to remind ourselves that this is not FOIL. We're now going to GCF from the top. We learned just at the top. We're going to GCF the first set of brackets. So they both have an X, so we're going to take out an X. I'm going to skip a line just so it doesn't get too messy. They both have an X, so we take out an X. We're left with 2x plus 3. Think in your head. X times 2x is 2x squared directly above. Good. X times 3 is 3x directly above. Good. Reversing the process. Okay, now we have the second set of brackets. We have a 4 and a 6. The greatest common factor is positive 2. What are we left with? 4x divided by 2 is 2x. Or 2 times what is 4x? 2x. 2 times what is 6? Positive 3. Now using the same poetry that we did from above. They both have a 2x plus 3. So we took out a 2x plus 3. We're left with an x plus 2. Circle your answer. So, if, for example, off to the right, we have 2x squared minus 6 plus 3x plus 4x. Well, that's not a nice order. We don't want to do in that order. So let's rearrange the order of the terms. Let's go for plus 3x plus 4x minus 6. Dot, dot, dot. I don't even know if that works. I don't think it works. Oh, it doesn't. The note above has a minus. I've rearranged the order of the terms accidentally to have a plus. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's wrong. Make sure both of these are negatives. And by the time you're watching this video, the notes may have been corrected or not. Excuse me, my fault. I hate when that happens. The signs have to come with it from grade 9. The signs are attached. So I've done it correctly here, circled in red. The negative is attached to the 6, so we still have negative 6. In the notes, I have forgotten to bring the negative along with the 6. I'm going to circle that in the notes and try and make sure that I have corrected it in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, so now let's remove a greatest common factor of something. So we have a question, 2x minus a half. So let's pull out a 2. Sure. 2 open bracket, x minus what? Well, we're doing a half divided by 2, because that's a GCF we took out. The 2's over 1, so we flip and multiply, and we get a quarter. So that's what's left in the brackets. Check your answer. Or we might have a 1/2 out in front, 1/2 x plus 4. And we want to take the 1/2 out. Well, it's going to be x plus what? Well, a half times what is 4? 8. Or do the same division that we did, or the same division that we did at the top, to remember to distribute your answer in and check your answer. So these principles are going to get harder and harder and harder. You want to make sure that your skills are awesome before moving on to the next step, especially moving on to the next grade. Because they're going to be whipping around, removing negatives and fractions, and you're going to be so far behind that you got to learn this stuff really well. If I were to say anything that we're going to be doing doing going forward, other than graphing, is factoring polynomials. Sure, fractions and exponents are up there, but geometries, graphing, all the same. Okay, so that's factoring GCFs and factoring. Oh, so I'll review this page. So at the top, an arrow in big blue, factoring out GCFs. And then two more complicated versions of combination steps of factoring out GCFs, or grouping and then factoring out GCFs. And down at the bottom, we kind of saw different types of fraction GCFs. Now we're going to take a look at 3 terms.